Rome wasn't built in a day. You've probably heard that saying. Centuries have passed since Rome's global dominance ended, but its culture still influences the world. Its philosophy, language, and architecture remain popular even today. Rome was the superpower that first laid the foundation of a modern army, created a senate to govern an empire, and during its republican period, successfully ran democracy for nearly 5 centuries. Many modern political terms like republic, dictator, senate, and veto are derived from Roman politics. At the peak of its power, every 5th person on earth was a Roman. If we combine the periods of the Roman kingdom, republic, and empire, Rome maintained dominance for over 2,000 years. But how was this possible? And how did this superpower eventually decline? Let's explore it in today's video. There are many mythological stories about the founding of Rome. One tale tells of twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were abandoned in a river as infants because they were the illegitimate children of Mars, the god of war. Somehow they ended up in a forest where a she-wolf found them and raised them as her own. The twins eventually established a settlement near the Tiber River. However, a dispute over control of the city led to Remus's death, and Romulus named the city Rome. Other similar mythological stories exist, but modern research suggests these were likely created by early Roman historians to give their kingdom a legendary origin story. According to archaeological evidence, Rome was actually established around 625 BC. Initially, it was a small trading center on the banks of the Tiber River, gradually developing into a city. At that time, the region was known as Etruria and Latium. People lived in small villages and united for survival and innovation, giving rise to Rome. The period from 600 BC to 510 BC is known as the Roman Kingdom. Interestingly, kings were not chosen purely by heredity. Instead, the Senate selected them. During this time, Rome had a total of 7 kings. The last king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, also called Tarquin the Proud, was a tyrant. A significant event during his reign changed Rome's history forever. His son was accused of assaulting a noblewoman named Lucretia. This news spread like wildfire, sparking protests across Rome. Eventually, the public and nobles combined forces to overthrow Tarquin, and in 509 BC, the Roman Republic began. The new government formed the Senate, divided into 2 sections: the patricians, representing the wealthy and powerful families, and the plebeians, representing the middle class. Together, they elected 2 leaders called consuls. Most power rested with the patricians, who often misused it, leading to frequent conflicts with the plebeians. During the Republic, Rome expanded significantly. By 338 BC, its territory covered the entire Italian peninsula. Conflicts were common, such as in 390 BC, when the neighboring kingdom of Gauls attacked Rome, causing massive destruction. However, Rome rebuilt itself and eventually, under the military leadership of Camillus, took control of all of Italy. Between 264 BC and 146 BC, Rome engaged in a series of wars known as the Punic Wars against Carthage, a powerful city-state in North Africa around modern Tunisia. 3 Punic Wars were fought in total. After the first 2, Rome controlled the western Mediterranean, including Spain and Sicily. During this time, Rome defeated Carthage's legendary general Hannibal. Hannibal's story alone could fill a separate video. In the Third Punic War, 149–146 BC, Rome completely destroyed Carthage, killing around 200,000 people and enslaving the survivors. Afterward, Rome expanded eastward, first defeating the Kingdom of Macedonia, a mighty realm even 200 years after Alexander the Great's death. Rome's military victories brought not only territory and wealth, but also the culture and society of conquered states. Roman society absorbed Greek architecture, religion, and arts. Greek philosophers' writings deeply influenced Roman thinking and philosophy. By 100 BC, Rome had become a superpower, but its rapid expansion also brought instability. Political unrest, civil wars, and assassinations became common. Leaders advocating for the poor were often killed, discouraging others from speaking up. In this climate, dictatorial leaders took advantage. In 58 BC, Julius Caesar was appointed governor of an Italian province and tasked with conquering the remaining regions of Gaul, modern France, Belgium, Switzerland, and parts of Germany. The Gallic tribes resisted fiercely. This campaign, known as the Gallic Wars, lasted 6 years. In 52 BC, Caesar besieged the Gallic city of Alesia, leading to severe famine for the defenders. Ultimately, Caesar defeated them, killing over 1 million and enslaving many more. His success made him extremely popular in Rome. The Senate, fearing Caesar's growing influence, ordered him to end his campaigns and return to Rome. Caesar refused, forming an alliance with 2 other generals, Pompey and Crassus, called the First Triumvirate. However, internal conflicts soon arose. After Crassus's failed campaign against Parthia, tensions escalated between Caesar and Pompey. In 49 BC, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, sparking a civil war against the Senate and Pompey. By 48 BC, Caesar defeated Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus, forcing Pompey to flee to Egypt, where he was betrayed and killed. Caesar then declared himself dictator for life, ruling from 49-44 BC. During his 5-year rule, Caesar implemented reforms benefiting the poor and launched public works projects, boosting his popularity. However, some senators, including Brutus and Cassius, feared his growing power. On March 1544 BC, known as the Ides of March, Caesar was assassinated by these senators. His last words, "Eat too, Brute," reflected his shock at Brutus's betrayal. Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, formed the Second Triumvirate with Mark Antony and Lepidus defeating the Senate. Eventually, Octavian sidelined Lepidus and took full control of the Western Empire. Conflict arose with Mark Antony, who allied with Cleopatra of Egypt. Octavian defeated them at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. By 30 BC, both Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide, and Octavian became the first Roman emperor, taking the title Augustus. Augustus ruled for 41 years, bringing stability after years of conflict. His reign, called the Pax Romana, saw progressive laws, infrastructure development, and a focus on public welfare. After his death in 14 AD, he was deified, a practice that continued for future emperors. His adopted heir, Tiberius, ruled for 22 years during the time of Jesus Christ's crucifixion. He was succeeded by Caligula, known for his cruelty, followed by Claudius, who was poisoned by his wife Agrippina to make way for her son Nero. Nero, ascending the throne at 16, became infamous for his misdeeds, murdering his mother, excessive spending, and harsh treatment of opponents. A great fire in Rome led to legends that Nero fiddled while Rome burned, though historical evidence is questionable. Eventually, Nero fled and committed suicide, ending the Julio-Claudian dynasty in 68 AD. The following year, 69 AD, became known as the Year of the Four Emperors. Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian all claimed the throne in quick succession. Political chaos and civil war marked this period. Vespasian emerged victorious, starting the Flavian dynasty. He restored law and order, initiated the construction of the Colosseum, and focused on public welfare, ruling wisely until his death. Vespasian's son Titus succeeded him, followed by Domitian, who was assassinated. From 96 AD to 192 AD, the era of the 5 good emperors began, with rulers like Trajan expanding the empire to its largest territorial extent, connecting regions through roads that still influence Europe's transport networks. Hadrian fortified defenses, built impressive structures like the Pantheon, and commissioned artworks that remain today. The last of the good emperors, philosopher Marcus Aurelius, spent most of his reign on military campaigns while writing his Stoic philosophy and meditations. After his death, his son Commodus took over, preferring gladiatorial games to governance, marking the end of Pax Romana.